Welcome, one and all, to episode 18 of Heroes of Absalom, brought to you by Three Kobolds Gaming. Thank you all so much for joining us on this delightful Sunday evening.
And holy moly.
Yeah.
What a journey it's been. Can you guys believe that we are closing in on 20 episodes of a campaign
Pretty exciting.
I can't believe
that we are,
Pretty insane.
for some reason, deciding to share with the world?
It's actually so unbelievable that I don't believe it. I would require more evidence. I needed to.
This is all a dream. I'm asleep right now.
I-
None of it's real.
Yeah, exactly.
Daniel, wake up.
It's been an absolute trip.
Well, thanks again so much for joining us as we attempt once more to tell you a story that's hopefully worth your time. Speaking of a story that is worth your time, however, this is something that we've talked about a little bit off air in between sessions, but I figured we had a really good conversation about it last week before we went live, and I thought we might rehash it a little bit now that we have a little bit more information, have a little bit more direction about where we think from the players and from their characters' point of view, what is going on? What are we doing here? Why are we even in this dirty, dusty, disgusting cave under the city of Absalom? Like, what's going on? Where are we going?
So, I mean, we are clearly going to find out more information about Jeremy Hoff, whose name has continually come up. He's really our only genuine lead, individual lead, into some of the activities that that Isabella and Desmond have been investigating. I have said this theory before off air, I think, and I've never said on air. I believe that at some point our hands will be forced into accepting help or requesting help from Jeremy to dismantle the Copper Hand. I think the Copper Hand is sort of is going to become an increasingly deep thorn in our side, such that we are eventually forced to take some less than ideal help from Jeremy or somebody else. But that's just my personal theory. But yeah, I mean, it's super interesting. We're going into this house that we know almost nothing about to meet a guy we know almost nothing about and just sort of download his deal, figure out what's going on.
Anyone else?
Yeah, it's an interesting theory that we're going to have to eventually accept help from Jeremy. I'm not totally sold on that idea quite yet. I do agree, though, that I think the Copper Hand is going to become a more increasing villain in the start of this adventure. I mean, because they seem to be on the bad side of the other players in the underworld, even, right?
Right.
So they are no one's friend.
I think what will convince me or detract from my theory is when we talk to Jeremy or his cronies, how they feel about the Copper Hand.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
a very
conversation
reveal.
will be super telling, I think.
Well, another thing will be is I believe Jeremy Hoff is connected to all these missing people that we've been trying to track down and
I
find
have
information
no
about
idea
too.
where that's going.
So, and that's what Isabella's more concerned about. So I think that's another thing we have to discuss with him as well. That might be more important than the Copper Hand thing.
We kind of have competing interests in that way, where we feel a little bit more investment for the Copper Hand because they've stolen our money and they're after Twinkletoes in a certain capacity. But that's not the reason we're doing this. That's not the reason that we are hired for. We're supposed to be investigating these missing persons first. So at some point, we're probably gonna have to make a choice between do we follow through the Copper Hand first? Do we find these missing people first?
And Hoff could be a bad guy too. He could be responsible for these missing people.
Yeah,
missing
certainly,
this
right?
game.
He could be feeding the missing people to the Copper Hand.
There it is.
What? Or more kobolds.
That's the plot right there.
So
I'm pretty convinced that the missing people is the first layer of the onion of evil. I think that
The
Pies is
onion of
obsessed with this idea of the onion of evil, where there are always layers to the villains.
To get to the big bad, yeah.
Exactly, to get to the big bad. And I think the missing people is the first step towards that idea.
I've played a couple of campaigns with Ben and a couple of storylines in said campaigns, and I always know that if he doesn't mention the Onion of Evil, we're not currently in a storyline. So once he breaks out the Onion of Evil metaphor, that's when we know we've really hit it.
There are layers. There are definitely layers. So as far as Desmond is concerned, right? So you all met Desmond, who was this mysterious benefactor or mentor or some capacity to Isabella. You all met with him last time. He was like, Jeremy Hoff, I'm familiar with the guy. I've done some snooping in the House of the Plains before, but my cover's blown, so I can't go. Isabella can't go for the same reason. But I know how to get you in. This is how I got in without an invitation, right? But it's dangerous. Fortunately, despite losing 2 members of your party, a friend of Desmond's was in a bit of a need. So in comes Kashak.
Hey.
Right? But they were like, look, this Jeremy Hoff guy is popping up like you all have mentioned. Only way to figure out what's next is to go talk to him and the people that patronize his establishment. This like high end, like essentially club of all of Absalom's, worst criminals. Which is why it's such a dangerous place. And he even specifically mentioned, don't try to start a fight. It's not going to go well for you.
Yeah, I do really hope it's not some of Absalom's worst criminals, because this is a large city, and we are not very capable people in the grand scheme of things. So if it's truly like some serious baddies, then we are.
But what he did say is, if you dress the part, you can get in there, schmooze around, talk to some people, and maybe get some information. And that is why he's sending you there, because that's really what you're looking for, right? You're looking for information about what's going on with these missing people. And theoretically, the most villainous of Absalom society might have an inkling as to what's going down, theoretically.
Den of scum and villainy.
Indeed. With all that being said, we return to our loyal league of lucky larcenists as they descend into the Undercity below the Eastgate district in search of the back entrance to Jeremy Hoff's establishment, the House of the Plains. Having gotten a bit more information from Bill, one of Jeremy's guards, and spending some time discussing their next moves, the group finally meets Isabella's mentor, a weathered older man by the name of Desmond, who interrogates them under the effects of a Zone of Truth spell, asking some very specific questions about who the group may or may not have been working for in the past. After their brief introduction, they discuss what Desmond may know about Jeremy, and seeing as Jeremy is the connecting factor across a few of the missing persons cases that Isabella has been trying to figure out, it seems the next stop is, in fact, the House of the Plains. Desmond describes this place as a fancy club for high-end criminals, but information can flow very freely there. So if they can get in, they may be able to gain more information on what's causing people to go missing from the various patrons in the establishment. To blend in, they were given a stipend to procure some fancier attire, appropriate for the locale. But blending in and prying for information is the easy part, as apparently the only other entrance, save for the heavily guarded and thoroughly vetted front gate, is an escape tunnel behind the House of the Plains. While not guarded by Jeremy's men, the tunnel was breached a few years prior by a creature from the Darklands, leaving the tunnels open to the dangers and mysteries from the Darklands below. To aid them in their inevitable battle against whatever may be lying in wait for them, a companion of Desmond's stops by and is roped into the Secreteer's mischief due to needing a place to stay and a promise of paying rent through his strength of arms. We left off as the Secreteers find a hidden tunnel in the crypt of an abandoned graveyard, making their way down an ancient set of stairs, past layers and layers of earth as they descend into the depths of the ancient Undercity. Remnants of old sections of Absalom that have been built and rebuilt in layers on top of one another over the centuries.
So spooky.
It is quite spooky indeed. By the way, it is pitch black down here. There is zero light. What is the vision situation that we've got going on here?
Well, I got some torches, so Bastro would naturally take a torch out and light it.
Does anyone have dark vision?
I thought I did, but I don't. Now
you have-
I'm like looking
You have
over.
low light as a halfling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
halflings have low light for sure, unless you have like a heritage feat.
The doctor has very normal human dark vision.
The Kashak has no dark
Okay.
vision at all. He's
So
normal.
presumably at least one torch would have to be lit in this
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, the doctor does not want to be the eyes of the party.
Or some equivalent therein via light spells and
So
such.
Kashak had requested to go first, so maybe Bastro, you want to hang up front with me, and we can lead with the torch.
So we're going
Yeah,
Kashak,
that's fine.
Bastro. What's the following order?
I'll take up the rear.
Okay, it is single
Okay.
file as you are going by through these tunnels. They are just barely 5 feet wide in some places and about 8 feet tall. It is very clear that this was a tunnelway dug up to, or at least away from some point. You can tell you're going against the grain of the way that it was tunneled in. Up to the stairs that kind of spiraled, these old rickety wooden stairs, basically almost entirely degraded and rotting away. That kind of you get these like stone landings every once in a while, but it's almost, you would guess, about 150 feet that you're going just straight down before you exit out onto a stone landing. And the masonry of the tunnel ends at the entrance to a cavern carved out of the countless layers of rubble and ancient city buildings. To the west, the subterranean passage splits into 2 tunnels, and for no particular reason, I think now would be a good time to refer to Roll20.
Woo! Map time.
As I reorganize.
Look at that logo, though. Beautiful, gorgeous.
Beautiful logo.
Logo. 3 kobolds came.
Love that logo.
3 kobolds on a trench
Well done,
coat
Gray.
next to it, right there. Shout out Gray O'Reilly for making that.
One of these days, my Roll20 will load and allow me to actually bring us to the map. How's
Kashak
everybody
is also, like,
feeling?
visibly shaken. He's
Yeah.
not enjoying these enclosed spaces very much. He's trying to put on a brave face, but he is like too big for this hallway.
Knees are buckling a little bit.
He is too big for the hallway. All right.
So you'll enter out, as I mentioned, the passageway, a short hallway of about 20 feet at the bottom of the stairs. Barely 5 feet wide in some sections. Enters out into this cavern. Cavern is a strong word for this smaller space around you. But as we get onto a map, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done a map.
Yeah.
So I'd like to remind everybody to be very
Been a
careful.
while.
Yes. Be very careful and explicit as to when and where you are moving.
Oh yeah, baby. Kashak is gonna have bow drawn in hand,
Sure.
and will kind of step out into the main hallway of this cavern, away from the staircase.
Sure. And remind me, Bastro is currently the only one wearing or carrying a torch, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So-
doctor just has short sword drawn.
Yeah. So Bastro, if you all would imagine, Bastro has 20 feet of bright light around him, and then another 40, or another 20 outside of that, for a total of 40 of dim light. So if you see things based off of your map vision, just keep in mind that it might be a little bit shorter based on where Bastro is.
Gotcha.
All right.
Um,
Bastro, are you gonna follow Kashak?
Yeah, give me a second. I have to reload the page.
And Will, I do have dark vision, so those lighting rules may not necessarily apply
Correct.
to me.
Yeah. As long as you're keeping that in mind, because
yeah.
Okay.
I am unable to.
I want to put another thing on your plate.
Yeah.
So many different visions. Can I roll a perception check with the assumption that Bastard doesn't step behind me and give me 20 feet of vision? Can I roll perception on the room that I stepped into here
Sure.
and see what's going on? So that is a
Yeah, Bastard would just follow.
yeah. That is a 25 perception.
A 25 perception. As you're looking out, once again, you're noticing this. The like strange kind of fusion of cave and architecture, because it looks like at one point this had been a city street level, but over the centuries, as things have collapsed and eroded, and maybe the shores of the bay had washed up and out due to the tides, this city is centuries old.
Wow.
And it is literally built in layers on top of itself. So this like little section somehow, whereas previously as you were descending that 120, 150 feet, had been all compacted, this section somehow managed to remain somewhat autonomous is the wrong word, but somewhat opened. This layer of the Undercity, through excavation and architecture, has become almost a cavern, but it's not a natural cavern that you would expect.
Right.
So you're getting this really eerie, like, this is not how nature works, right? This is like, it is disturbing almost.
Do I feel like it's structurally safe?
You feel like if it's still here after this long,
Us being here.
yeah, but that doesn't mean that messing with like load-bearing structures and walls and trying to tunnel it would be a good idea, right?
This place is very, very old.
And like you can clearly see to your south like what appears to be rubble that is cascaded from the ceiling, like chipped away. You're not sure how fresh or recent that might be, but it is clear that there are like piles of rock and loose rubble that have fallen at some point.
Okay. I would recommend not touching too much. Just keep hands at sides until we have to fight. And Kashak will kind of step forward a little bit if he can. I'm not getting any more lighting.
Yeah.
I can't see any of the other tokens. I don't know if that's a problem.
My roll 20 is also being a little buggy here. Let me restart this here. See what I can do about that.
Overall, I think he's just going to be looking for like threats that might be hiding in cracks or like sections of wall that might be separated. And it's a pretty open area we've come into, like 15 by 15, but it's like stones, floors, but there's lots of corners. So his guard are tingling that things could be hiding in the shadows. So he'll be looking specifically for that if he can.
Yeah, the doctor definitely wants to be rolling lots of perception checks.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much every corner we're turning is gonna.
I think Bastard's gonna be like right behind Kashak, and while like every time Kashak pauses, Bastard's gonna cast detect magic. So in a 30-foot emanation, I'm gonna know if any magical things are nearby.
That's a good idea.
Okay. So go ahead, Dr. Forsyth, roll me a perception.
Oh, starting out with the natty 2. It's an 11.
Okay. So as you're looking around, you, despite your proficiency in seeing in the dark, you're unable to glean much information past what Kashak has already mentioned.
Yeah.
And with the way dark vision works, it's like in a grayscale, right? It's not like you're not seeing like colors and stuff. The architecture mixed with whatever loose rubble and whatnot is making it very difficult to kind of discern what's around you. You're having trouble adjusting to the depth of the darkness here and the kind of uniformity of the grays and browns that are leaving you with very little detail to really pick out. It's hard for Dr. Forsyth to make out anything specific.
Yeah, she's going to say, I think we need to proceed with caution. We don't know what else could be down here.
Don't mind that.
I'm closing my eyes until you tell me it's ready.
Just gonna zoom very close on my token so I see only the 10 feet around me.
Oh, I only see myself now.
Yeah, same.
Same.
So we get for trying to do cool interactive things with maps, try to incorporate new technology, and it blows up in our face.
All right. We're having fun. So, you see to your west, as I mentioned, the tunnel splits off into two directions, basically a 90-degree angle. To your west, a thin kind of passage between two large pillars of rubble that extend to the ceiling. The ceiling being, in this section, about 15 feet tall, where there is ceiling, because there are like walls and pillars of rubble that protrude in odd places. To the north, you once again see that the passage goes on a little farther before catty-cornering around. So to your west, you see about 20 feet beyond. To the north, with that kind of curvature, especially Dr. Forsyth, you see what appears to be two walls of architecture that have a break in them. But under one of the walls, you see the floor drops out entirely. Looks like a pit that opens up under one of the walls. That is to the north.
Okay.
The doctor will share that information, and he'll say, it appears to the north there is some sort of dropout in the floor. There's a pit of sorts. However, we are currently staring at a trench coat. Unsure if the northern part of the trench coat is where this pit was, or if it was maybe the G in gaming that we were looking at.
I thought something was to the west of us, so perhaps it's at the tail end of the trench coat. It's possible.
Well, Will, was there any magic detected within 30 feet?
There was
of
no
Astro?
magic detected
Okay.
within 30 feet.
Yeah, well, we are
Well,
not currently.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep.
There we go.
There's no magic about,
There
so
we go.
I think we're good to go if we want to continue.
All right, Kashak will take a few steps to the west here. He'll go across that little hallway. Try to clear out some of this room.
It just got all weird for me again.
All right, we'll do this the old-fashioned way. Oh man, apologize for some small technical difficulties. We're just working it out here.
Do I see anything in this room to the west?
So you get to this, as you pass through, you notice that it opens back up to the north, Without Bastor's light, however, as he's currently in the little cavern behind you, you see that it opens back up to the north, kind of, you would assume what would wrap around to meet what Forsyth was talking about earlier, but you can't see into that darkness just yet.
So I'm refreshing the page right now, but I would be right behind Kashak.
Right.
And if we have moved 30 feet since we detect magic last, can I do it again? I can't do the math, so I don't know if we have.
Sure.
Move far
Once
enough.
again, you are not detecting any magic.
Awesome. We're good to go, guys. Let's press on.
After some research, no, I do not have even low light vision, just normal vision.
Weird.
Oh wow, really?
Oh wow.
I will be either sticking close to that torch, or I would have one of my own, whichever y'all think.
Yeah, Kashak's being
Up to
very...
you, honestly.
Kashak's creeping
All
around
right.
the corners here, stepping
And
around.
as you
I
get
think she
into
was-
this, Bastor, are you still following on Kashak's heels?
I think
Yeah. The map's loading up right now, but I'm right behind Kashak.
Gotcha.
This side, seeing Kashak and Bastro go up to the west, he would cut up the north here,
Mhm.
and then see them right there. He would stop right here on this square.
So
Kashak
as
spooked and fires an arrow. Oh god.
as you all are like fully entering this area, you see that the floor of this broader cavern appears strangely clean and polished. Even the debris of the crumbling building facade to the west is devoid of dust and dirt. To the south, a narrow tunnel has been thoroughly walled off with white bricks. To the north, a crevice yawns in the floor and stretches under the northern wall. Just east of the pit lies a small heap of gleaming armor and weapons in the middle of the tunnel that leads east.
Can I actually survival or perception the wall to see if it's been disturbed recently or if it seems out of place?
Sure.
The white brick wall to the south. I'll give it perception.
Can I roll perception for the north, especially around the pile of armor and weapons?
There's 17 on the white brick wall down there.
17 on the white brick wall. It looks like it was put in, the masonry looks newer.
Okay.
So it looks like it was put in as either like a retaining wall or some kind of structural reinforcement.
Okay. And then, yeah, I would also be able to roll perception on the
Yeah, I want to roll perception on the pile.
all
of,
of arms and armor. Yeah. So he'll walk up to it for sure.
All right.
Dirty
That
20
was garbage.
perception.
That is a natural 20 for a 28.
28.
Wow.
Kashak sees everything.
Okay. So I'm gonna need everyone to stop moving, first of all. Because the pile of weapons and armor is right about here.
Oh, okay. Then the
Yeah.
doctor, I think, would be there.
So I don't know if you all had wanted to get that close to it, but I didn't specifically mention that yet. Because
Yeah,
as we were rolling
I think-
perception checks on it, people decided to keep moving. So
Sorry.
Yeah, I will step to there. I would have walked
Not
up.
bad, sir.
Pile. This is that pit you were talking about, though, right?
correct. As you're walking up there, you notice that that pit like is a steep, almost like 45-degree drop that goes down about 30 feet to its base, levels out and runs under the wall there. So Kashak, are you walking up to?
That's where he'll go. Yeah, he'll walk all the way up to
Okay.
the arms and armor. Yeah.
As you get to about here, you hear like a strange like as
Oh.
from the ground around the
A lot of
weapons and
goo.
armor, a large mass of yellow goo
Slime.
ascends from the ground, taking the form of a cube.
Gelatinous cube.
Everybody to go ahead and roll me initiative.
Oh my god!
So
How geometric.
give me one moment here.
Let's get some battle tunes going. Yeah.
So
that's-
Natural 20.
one of Kashak's
First roll of the night.
one of Kashak's class features, class feats that he's taken is the Scout's Warning feat.
Oh, it's
Whenever-
very big.
Whenever I'm about to roll Perception or Survival for initiative, I can visually or audibly warn my allies of this danger, granting them each a +1 circumstance bonus to their initiative rolls.
Yo,
So-
what? That's big.
Yo, that's big. That's for everyone.
See this cube form, and I was like, everyone, take a step back. We're gonna have to take this thing out, and everyone gets a +1 to their initiative.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah, dude. That's big.
Amazing.
So, Kashak.
Kashak has a 23.
Dr. Forsyth.
24.
24. Not to be outdone. Bastro.
17.
Certainly to be outdone. Twinkletoes.
27.
Oh my gosh. 20.
I think Bastro has always rolled like at least one of the lowest for initiative rolls.
Okay.
Why did you just roll so many dice, Will?
That wasn't me.
Nice out of a bag.
That
No,
that
that was
wasn't me.
me. That was me putting some dice
oh,
down.
God. Oh, I'm so glad that was you, E.T. That was Will, and I was like, why did I just hear that?
Don't worry about it. It's okay. It'll be
I
fine.
got it in dice bag.
For all of us to figure out what we do.
All right. So, as it's taking form. Oh boy, this thing is fun. As it's taking form, you see a like sliver of this mass, this yellow translucent mass kind of grow out of one of the flat sides closest to Kashak as it whips around to slam into him.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh my god, it's so
Yes,
big.
indeed.
It beat a 27. Jeez.
Probably got a surprise round.
This is, yeah. This is what it does as Kashak walked up to it. It's going to be a 24 to hit.
That'll hit for sure.
That will hit. And this, my friends, is where it gets fun. Take 1 point of acid damage.
Okay.
Oh, it's always bad when it's so low.
1 point of acid damage. And I need you to roll me a
1 point.
fortitude save, Kashak.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
24.
24. You feel these spots across your arm where this tentacle or pseudopod slammed into you briefly grow numb, but your cold lizard instincts manage to keep your adrenaline flowing as you manage to push through the paralysis that was beginning to take hold.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh no.
No.
Twinkletoes, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
All right, I would like to slash at it with my rapier.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let me just like. Okay, what's my Nice. That's nice. Okay.
She's happy with it.
Only. Well, I mean, like it was nice, but I only rolled a 4, so like 13. Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
It is a large mass of slowly moving jelly.
classic cute.
Okay.
And they're just like, yeah, that's alright.
Okay. That was cocked. 1 point of damage.
1 point of damage. Okay.
Oh, wait. No. The +1 doesn't add any damage to it.
From your weapon?
+1 weapon.
No, it
Yeah.
does not.
Yeah.
It's just +1 to hit. Okay. Second action. I want to tumble through over here. May I? Acrobatics check.
Give me 1 second here.
But can you? The creature might have
That's
You bounce on top of it, like over it.
yeah. So they're
Well,
really
I mean, like I could front flip over it, like.
Just
Yeah,
swim
that's
through
what
it.
I'm picturing. Yeah, you're like flipping over it.
yeah. It's gonna be significantly harder because it is literally a massive cube. To avoid being touched by it. So it's gonna be significantly harder, and you feel like if you
Right.
don't make it, the ramifications
It's
would
not
be
gonna
much
be good.
worse.
So I'm not gonna do that then.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
It's not like you're trying to like run around an enemy and you just like can't quite make it through. Like if you don't make it, you are in the creature.
I'll be inside of it. Okay. Ew. Yeah, I don't want that. So, instead, I'm gonna. Oh shoot! I can't. I wanted to. Flanking. I'm gonna scoot around here. 5, 10, 15.
Mm-hmm.
And slash it again
Okay.
with my rapier.
Go ahead and roll the hit.
Alright. It's another 4. Alright, so that's just gonna be it. That's 9 to hit. So 9 to hit.
Somehow, some way, you manage to just barely miss this creature. Is that the end of your turn,
Cool.
Tornathos?
That's the end of my turn.
Dr.
Yeah.
Forsyth, you're up.
All right, the doctor. I don't think he's super familiar with gelatinous cubes, so he's gonna first action try and devise a stratagem for if there's a more advantageous way to be dealing with this just mass of something. So he is going to devise a stratagem, and whenever he devises a stratagem, he gets a free recall knowledge as part of his class feat, known weaknesses. So I would like to do that first, if that's okay, Will. What
Sure.
would be the applicable skill?
That is a great question because I would know it in first edition, but not
Would it
second
be
edition.
Nature? Nature, maybe?
Go ahead and start with that, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Cold.
Yeah, Colt was the other one I was maybe
Just go ahead and roll it. Tell me what your
Okay.
total will be, and
Well, it depends on what skill it is, you know?
It is occultism.
it's occultism.
Okay, so occultism, I rolled
That's
a
just a
dirty,
guess, Jack. It's a what?
dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, that's good enough to recognize this as a gelatinous cube.
Okay, I'm specifically looking for any sort of resistances or DR. No, well, DR is not, I don't think, a thing in second edition. But is it resistant to any specific types of damage?
Sure.
Or is it like weak to any types of damage, stuff like that? That's
Sure.
I think what the doctor would be trying to figure out.
So you are familiar with the fact that it is mindless. So do with that what you will. In terms of resistances, it is resistant to electricity. You're also aware that it has some immunities, of which acid is one. Mental damage is another. Again, it is mindless. It cannot be knocked unconscious. But that is really all you're getting. You know that it has more immunities, but with that roll, you just can't quite remember in the heat of combat everything that it is immune to.
Okay, so the doctor will share this information with the party. Just really hoping to get something about slashing or piercing, because I think that almost exclusively our damage is slashing and piercing.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens. So his devise a stratagem now.
Well, why'd you bring piercing to a bludgeon fight?
He rolls a 4.
4.
Oh, it's 4s.
Which is not great.
Could definitely be better.
That's a 12, so he's not doing great. Well, never mind, it's a gelatinous cube. So he is going to take his second action, I think, to similar to Twinkletoe's move. And he's going to go 5, 10, 15, 25.
So that is into the pits.
That's the pit.
Oh, it's not an angle. I thought you said it was
It
like
is.
an
It
angle.
is very angled. It is not an angle that you'd be able to stay on.
I can't.
A very steep angle.
Yeah.
I misunderstood. Then I won't move. I will take my strategic strike then as my second action and try and hit this thing.
And you're taking the
so that's a
12, correct? That
It
does hit. That does hit.
All right. So I get D6 of precision damage. That is a 1 of slashing and a 4 of precision damage, if that matters. 5 total damage. And his third action, he will try and strike out again at this thing.
So
He's gonna. Ooh.
you see the slashing from your weapon take effect.
I was worried about this.
However, what you had thought to be some kind of organic mass within the gelatin that you were hoping to land a more precise hit on just turned out to be like a rock that was in there. And the gelatin just kind of reforms around the strike. You feel like precision doesn't make a difference to this creature.
Yeah. So the doctor's like pulling his sword out, and he's like, I think this cube does not take kindly to precise strikes, and he's gonna try to slash at it again. And he rolled a dirty 20 actually with his
Nice.
second attack,
That's a hit.
or 5 points of slashing damage.
So
And
once
that's-
more, you bring the blade across, just opening up a gash where this somewhat solid outer layer kind of peels away, and the less viscous ooze contained within begins just falling, sloughing out of the gash. Starting to take some damage, but it's very difficult to tell, as this is just a mass of this weird gelatin ooze nonsense. Is that the end of Dr. Forsyth's turn?
Yes.
Kashak, your first official round of combat in this adventure.
Kashak.
How would
is
you like to
going
waste it?
He is seeing that the people here have the up front lines pretty covered, so he's going to take a little bit of a retreat here. 5, 10 towards this. Is this a pillar of some kind? Is this a wall?
It's like a mound of rubble that almost makes what appeared to be a load-bearing pillar into the
So-
ceiling above you.
Kashak is going to try to climb that.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a climb
Word.
check.
Nice, yeah.
That is a 20.
How-
A 20 is
How
a
high is the
success.
ceiling of this-
a
of
regular
this place?
success.
Yeah, how tall are the ceilings?
15 feet.
Okay, so he Kashak can only critically succeed. He never if he rolls a success, he gets a critical success. So he, with these two large gecko-like feet that have these sticky pads on the bottom, he just sort of runs up the wall about 10 feet
Cool.
and then turns around, fully standing up, bow in hand, and is going to take a shot out of the gelatinous cube.
Okay.
That is a 19 to hit
That's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
for 7 points of piercing damage.
7 points of piercing damage. Very nice.
Damage for now.
And you all watch as this arrow flink plucks into the side of this creature. You see the impact like rippling out of the arrow as it kind of sinks in, and you notice that it begins, the wood of the shaft of the arrow begins to like sizzle and hiss and pop as
like
it
that.
begins disintegrating inside of this cube.
Gross.
That is my whole turn.
Is that a
Nice.
skeleton in the art of the gelatinous cube?
I believe it is.
Yeah,
It
something is
looks
being
like it's
burned
like
alive
falling
in there.
backwards.
Oh, that's awful.
That is
That's
so cool.
Yeah. And you actually notice that that skeleton that you mentioned has the pile of armor, shining armor and weapons on it, as the cube was seeming to lure you into its
Ah.
Well, it worked.
form. Crazy,
Well done.
Yeah, it worked
crazy
like a
how
charm.
that worked.
We saw
Yeah,
shiny things and we were like, yay!
So
Loot.
it is now Bastro's turn.
Oh yeah. Bastro's gonna stride. 5, 20, okay. And then Bastro's gonna cast Sanctuary on Twinkle Toes. So
Yo.
anytime the gelatinous cube tries to attack Twinkle Toes, it has to make a will save.
Okay.
And he's gonna whisper like, "Twinkle Toes, you're the front line now. You used to be Shark, but it's all up to you now. Good luck." And he just
Nope.
like pats her on the back.
No.
Great,
pressure.
thanks, buddy.
Okay. Remember when I said this is where it gets fun in the last round? I meant to
Is it
say this right here is where it gets fun. Because this creature takes 2 of its actions to try to engulf both Twinkletoes and Bastro.
I'm
What?
sorry.
What?
It moves
Yeah, good luck.
into this space, and as it
What?
does so, I would
Is that
like
considered an attack?
both. It's not considered an attack. It is just moving to envelop the space around them.
Swarm rules.
I would like
Wow.
Bastro and Twinkletoes to go ahead and roll me a. What is it? Actually, interesting.
A will save? Because
A
I'm
reflex
traumatized?
save.
Is this roll to escape?
It is, in fact.
All right, so I am an unfettered halfling, by the way. So, whenever I roll a success on a check to escape or a saving throw against an effect that would impose the grabbed or restrained condition on me, I get a critical success instead.
Nice.
Yeah, an 18.
Oh, that's so useful right here.
Yep.
Unfettered. Be she fettered? Nay, she un.
And I rolled well as well. This is a what check? What is this check?
A reflex save.
Oh, hell yeah, 25.
Okay, Bastro.
18.
18.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
a
I'm
tweener.
scared. I'm scared.
So. Twinkletoes, you're able to almost swim your way out
Oh.
as it engulfs you. You have to like
Do.
step into it, almost like when you were 10 at the beach and you were trying to like stand in the wave as
yeah.
it was crashing over. You have to like push yourself through it. That is what's happening right now with Twinkletoes. She manages to get through the wave. Bastro
Oh,
does not. A couple things are gonna happen. One, the first thing that's gonna happen is both of you are gonna take some acid damage. So Twinkletoes, this is gonna be halved for you.
Oh, but I hear the dice that I got you.
You do. You do. These really cool metal cog dice. I don't know if you can see
Hello.
them well.
So cool.
They're black and gold, and they've got like cogs on them. They're really cool. They're also really good at rolling 9 points of damage on Bastro for 4
9?
points.
You said 9?
9 points of damage on Bastro, 4 points of damage on Twinkletoes. But that's
what you
just
get.
the beginning.
That's what you get for trying to be helpful, to be totally honest.
yeah, how dare you?
You deserve that.
That's just the beginning.
Just trying to protect
Oh,
my
wait.
friends, and I
Oh,
get
so that doesn't count as an attack, so he doesn't. It
Correct.
No.
doesn't. Sanctuary
No.
doesn't have an
It is
effect.
just
Oh,
moving
also,
onto you, and the
saving
fact
throw
that it
doesn't
is
have any-
acidic gel that is touching you hurts you.
Yeah.
Bastro is now engulfed.
That sounds
Okay.
horrible.
So, you are grabbed. You are slowed 1 for as long as you were engulfed.
God.
And you must hold your breath or start suffocating. So, Jack,
Okay.
please go ahead and look up breath rules for me real quick while I
I
finish
think
out
it
the
takes
rest
one
of this.
action per round to hold your breath.
You can
Well,
hold your
yeah,
breath
look it
for a
up.
number of rounds equal to 5 plus your Constitution modifier. Reduce your air by 1 round at the end of each of your turns, or by 2 if you attacked or cast any spells that turn. So, like doing something strenuous means that you lose more air more quickly.
Mhm.
You lose 1 every turn regardless. So I don't know how many you have, but it's probably not a lot.
5 plus your con.
If you ever critically fail, or if you are critically hit by a damaging effect, you lose a round. And we'll get into that more and more as needed. We'll also get into unconscious and suffocating if we get there. It is not forgiving. And
No.
slowed
Don't worry
one
about
means
bastard. Just
slowed
try
one
to get him
means-
out.
It means that he has one fewer action.
one fewer
every
action.
turn,
Actions.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he is grabbed, which imposes the grabbed condition. He is slowed 1, suffocating. Let me finish it, because this is literally like a small novel, a short story, just for this one ability. An engulfed creature can attempt to escape using an action, using a reflex save against the DC. You can also attempt to attack it, but you can only attack it with an unarmed attack or a weapon of light bulk.
Oh, well, this thing messed up because Bastro's got these hands.
Oh, Bastro.
Oh, I'm not done yet.
Bastro needs, like, catch these hands.
I'm not done yet, though.
Yeah.
To your benefit, the engulfing creature, so in this case the gelatinous cube, is flat-footed against the attacks because it's I mean you're punching its inside that is all around you, right? Like it's flat-footed against you. If you do enough damage to meet or exceed its rupture value, which is a hidden number that I have, it spits you out.
Cool.
So you can get out that way, or you can try the reflex save. However, I need you to roll me an insanely important fortitude save.
Oh no. I hate life.
Oh!
Yeah. This is hero point worthy, by the way.
This is
Absolutely hero point worthy.
That was Cockman. Alright, hold on.
Let me just do some. Let me just do some math real quick.
21.
Nice.
Okay.
That's solid. It's solid,
That's
yeah.
good. That's good.
I swear to Christ.
But is it
You're okay
I'm not saying it's 21 is
for
okay.
now.
Level.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to roll one every turn. I think it's gonna keep trying to paralyze you.
Every turn.
That's
Yeah.
shit.
Can any of us try to get
I
him
think
out?
he's immune now.
No.
I think he's immune now.
We can
I
make
think
no
he's
attempts to
immune
like pull
to the
him out of the
paralysis.
cube. He's in there by himself.
No,
Yeah,
he
okay.
like one of the things about this as well is that the creature can engulf more creatures and bring the ones that he's already got with him.
Oh,
So he
okay.
can just like
Slurp
what's-
Just might roll.
yeah,
over us.
he can just roll
Just might
through you
roll.
and continue trying to engulf you. Oh, by the way,
Literally, that
it's still
game
got one
on
more
Neopets
action, right?
With the jellies, eating the other jellies. That's
or that Japanese game with the ball.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Will.
Why can't I remember the name of it now?
Gario? Are you talking about Gario?
That's
Wait, like the
similar.
building eater whole game.
It's like you're pushing a ball, and whatever you roll over, it attaches.
It adds to the
and
ball,
gets
so you just
bigger
get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't remember the name of that game, but I still have a third action, and that third action is going to be a pseudopod attack against Twinkle Toes.
Will save.
Make a will save.
Will save.
I will.
Hey, make a will save.
Hey, make a will save.
Natural 2. You're all right for this round.
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
I will end my 15-minute turn and concede my time to Twinkle Toes. Beginning of round 2.
You see, Bastro gave Twinkle Toes a thumbs up as he's like floating inside this thing.
Blop, 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 blop.
Twinkle Toes
See the air
is
bubbles
gonna,
like.
slash out at this thing again.
Okay.
Okay, that's like all she can really do.
I can't imagine the sense of desperation as you felt the acid of this creature against you, barely pushing your way out and seeing Bastro stuck in there. Like, the desperation that is setting in to get him out before he just suffocates inside of an acid creature. What'd you get? What'd you get?
17.
17? Definitely a hit. This thing is not quick. It is a wall of gel.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage is
Swinging again.
satisfactory.
Natural 16.
Natural 16.
That's gonna be a 21 to hit.
Definitely hits. At this point, just go ahead and roll your to hit and your damage at the same time, and just let me know if its AC is 10. So just let me know if it's not a 10, because this thing is very difficult to miss. It is a slow, lumbering blob of gel.
So 21 would crit, no?
21 would crit.
So that was
If
10
it's-
points.
they
However,
were able to beat crit.
Immune to be crit.
it is
probably.
immune to criticals.
Yeah. I knew you wouldn't forget that, so it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I appreciate the effort. Good hustle.
Last one was 19 to hit. So
Yep.
3 points of damage.
If it's above a 10, just tell me the damage.
Yep. 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage.
That's my turn.
Okay, so Twinkletoes, seeing her friend now engulfed in this slime, begins just hacking and stabbing away. Katamari, thank you. Oh,
I was gonna ask if you saw the chat.
that was
yeah.
bothering me so
Katamari.
much.
Clutch coming in.
It was bothering me so much. Katamari Damachi, I believe, is the... I could be wrong about that. But, yeah, this thing just absorbs literally everything, as Dr. Forsyth would know. It doesn't matter if it's organic, inorganic. This thing just boils down matter and turns it into itself. It's crazy. And Bastro's about to be part of that cycle. After Twinkletoes, Dr. Forsyth.
Not if I can help it.
You see Bastro, you see acid burns beginning to erupt across his skin. The skilled doctor that you are, you notice that he is going to have a rough time if he's in there any much longer.
I think the doctor wants to put his big boy pants on and
That's
try
what I
to,
like to hear.
try to make a claim as a hero of Absalom, and he's gonna take his first action. Is this a wall, Will? Can I move through this, or is this?
Okay, so there is a pile of rubble here. The
Yeah.
brown section is a wall. The pile of rubble is difficult terrain. The wall is impassable.
So I can't get over here.
You could
Without-
try. You could try to tumble through and get around, but I will remind you that failing against this creature is going to be much worse than
sucks.
failing against anything else.
Yeah, no. Yikes. So I was gonna try to get to the other side, but I guess I can't. Shoot. Okay.
You could theoretically, just throwing this out there, jump across here.
I mean, the creature's probably going to try to engulf Twinkletoes.
But that being said,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna move.
it's looking
So the
it's
doctor's
looking
gonna
to
take
eat.
His first action is gonna go 5, 10, 15, right there, or I guess it'd be 20.
That's difficult terrain, but you still have the movement speed, so you're
But
fine.
I have the movement.
Yeah.
And then second action, he's gonna hack at it. He rolls above a 10 for 3 points of slashing damage.
3
And
points of
his
slashing
third
damage.
action, he is going to hack at it again. It's just start shouting, Bastro, we're coming!
Bastard, you hear.
You just see bubble come out of my mouth.
His third attack was a 9 to hit. He missed it.
No.
Oh.
I think that in desperation, he's just like swinging wildly, and the fact that he's on this rubble, he's like way off balance.
It's so unnerving because as you're making these slashes across you, it's almost like that. If any of you have seen those self-healing cutting boards that are made out of the gel, like you get
yeah.
that slash, that like really satisfying clean open, but like you make another attack and you look back and the first one is already starting to just like fill back in.
Deal over.
That's a turn.
And it's not like you can see that there are clear like sections of gelatin of this creature that have fallen off, and they're not like, it's not like regenning hit points or anything, but it's a big beefy blob of this gelatin that is
That we just need to hack into.
just gotta get through it. Just gotta get through it. End of Dr. Forsyth's turn. Kashak, round 2. What you got for me?
There's an arrow coming in,
Oh, I bet there is.
and it definitely hits for
Do you have any-
5.
Targets you'd like to study or anything?
It does nothing for me against creatures that don't take precision damage.
Oh,
It exclusively wastes an action.
fair enough.
And-
That's why I'm not doing
Yeah.
panache.
And then in currently the only thing that
As a stratagem. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. 3 of you
We-
deal
we
precision
do
damage.
so much precision
Oh,
damage.
well,
Yeah.
that's good to keep in the back
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only abilities that it's unlocked by me studying or hunting my prey are kind of useless right now. So
Sure.
we'll do
Sure.
it when we get to it. That's 5 points of piercing damage coming up right now. Second arrow from my composite short.
How much did the
bow,
first one do?
5 points
5.
of piercing damage.
I missed that in my confusion.
That is a miss. Natural 3. So I missed that one.
Hate to see it, honestly.
He's gonna want to not waste any more arrows. So I think he's gonna climb down to the bottom.
Yeah,
level
so
with a
normally,
foundation.
I will say this. Normally, we do count ammo, and you get back 50% of the arrows that you would shoot.
But I'm gonna get none back.
You're gonna get none back from this one.
Yeah, they're all melting.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're back down on the ground level, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
All right. End of Kashak, beginning of Bastro. Bastro. You've got two options. You can either try to force your way out with a reflex save to try to maneuver your way around.
Reflex, not acrobatics.
Reflex, not acrobatics.
Okay.
You can try to punch your way out, and the way you do that is you have to deal enough damage in a single attack to meet a certain threshold, and it'll spit you out. I also, regardless, will need you to spend an action to hold your breath, unless you don't want to hold your breath. In which case, by
So
all
you
means.
have to spend an action to hold your breath each round. I
Jack,
didn't
is
see
that
when
correct?
I read the rules.
That is incorrect.
Of something.
Incorrect.
You can-
So what is the? It just happens
You can hold your breath for a number of rounds, and you lose one at the end of each
Okay.
of your turns.
unless
So
you
still
do
get 3
something
actions.
strenuous.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
I have 6
Or,
rounds worth, but if I attack or cast a spell, it takes like 2 off instead of
Mhm.
1.
It takes 2 off
That's what I
instead of
read.
1.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So for everyone
So
counting at
6
home,
rounds,
6
not a
rounds
lot of
until
time.
Bastro is unconscious.
The reflex
6
save would
rounds
not
is
count
like
for
an
that, though.
eternity. It's
The,
fine.
the reflex
is
save
an
would not count for that. It would be
Right.
you'd have to critically fail the
You'll
save.
run out of hit points before you lose your breath anyway. Like,
Yeah, they'll just dissolve me. Okay, so first action, I'm gonna roll a reflex save to get the hell out.
Can he do the reflex save more than once in a round if he fails the first one?
No.
it's once per round.
Once per
Once
Oh.
per round.
Natural 20. I'm
Natural
not
20.
even joking. Oh my god.
Yes.
Never been less worried about it.
You're out.
Yes.
You're out. You're good. For now. You've got
Well, let
one
me
more
get
action
to
left.
the
What would you like to
map.
do?
I'm pretty sure he's
So
immune
I'm
to
still
being grabbed.
I'm still
now.
slowed even
Pretty
though
sure.
I'm outside.
You can be as sure of that as you want. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you'd still be slowed since you only got out on this turn.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So slowed
Got you.
affects you at the beginning of your turn to give you 2 actions.
Right.
You use the first of your 2 actions to escape. You now have 1 more action. But on the
That's
bright
just
side, you can
gonna-
breathe.
Bastard's just gonna wave his like make a circle around his face with his hand, and you see a small halo appear above his head, and that's the end of my turn.
All right.
You cast Sanctuary on yourself.
Well,
it's probably-
life boost the hex.
Ah.
With the end of
Yeah.
Bastard's turn comes my favorite segment of the show. Who gets engulfed next?
Oh
I
my
know,
god! Not
3
again!
vital targets.
Not again!
I'm gonna roll a d6.
Oh, no chance!
Roll a d6.
More stressful.
On a 1 or 2, it's gonna be Bastro. On a 3 or 4, it's gonna be Dr. Forsyth. And on a 5 or a 6, it will be none other than the lovely Miss Twinkle-Toes.
Come after me.
And I'll even roll it in roll 20 for the
Oh.
sake
oh!
of my
okay.
players.
What?
You at home, you'll just have to believe the reactions that they give, but
Wait, Will, turn on 3D dice, then they won't.
that is like 6 steps that I don't want to go through right now.
Never mind then.
Ah!
Yes! Oh, thank God! Yes.
After
I mean-
4 seconds.
I think based on that reaction,
Yes.
we all know that
Bring
Dr.
it on.
Forsyth is about to get et.
Bring it on!
It uses 2 actions to move and then engulf Dr. Forsyth. Dr. Forsyth, I need you to go ahead and roll me a reflex save to attempt
Alright.
to escape.
Oh no, I think I failed. 16.
Dr. Forsyth's form
That's a fail.
is melded into, and you now watch as he lifts slightly off the ground, his motion sluggish as he fights against the gelatin around him. And I need you, once again, to roll me a super important fortitude save.
Alright, alright.
You rolled bad on the reflex.
Oh, no.
You're due for a roll.
You've got a hero
I
point.
rolled the same number. I rolled an 8 for my reflex and an 8 for my fortitude. I'm hero pointing that.
Yeah. If there's any time to do it.
I rolled worse. I rolled a 7. That's a 12. It's a 12.
Dr. Forsyth, as this
Oh,
creature
no.
engulfs you, every inch of exposed flesh sings in intense pain as the acid begins to dissolve your skin. You take 10 points of acid damage.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Okay.
And as that sting, the sharp pain begins, suddenly it ebbs entirely as you find yourself unable to move or feel the poison or acid of this creature setting in to paralyze you.
What does that mean for my holding my breath?
You're still holding your breath. You still have the number of rounds.
Okay, that's not affected. Okay.
Yeah. You still have the amount of oxygen that was in your lungs when you started this adventure.
Okay.
You'll get a save on each turn to recover. But if you recover, you're still grabbed and slowed 1.
Oh my god. Okay, so grabbed. Wow. All right. I'm not scared.
Grabbed and slowed doesn't matter if you're paralyzed though.
Ignore
Ignore those until
Yeah.
you're
But
scared.
that's for if I get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to make the save against the paralyze, and then you still afterwards have to escape.
Yeah. I got you.
The creature still has one more action. It's going to use that action to make a pseudopod attack against the last person to hit it, who was Kashak.
Oh yeah, I am in range now. Nice.
Natural 2 is not going to hit you.
No.
I think that was the same number that it rolled last time.
Yeah. So thanks, Emily Grace, for the dice that have been rolling natural 2s on all of my attacks.
Thank you, Emily Grace.
Your party will thank you later, I'm sure. That is the end of round 2. Oh my gosh, it's only the end of round 2. Twinkle Toes. Now your doctor is engulfed. What are you going to do?
I am gonna hit it 3 times.
I'd like to
That's what
see
I'm
you
gonna do.
try.
Hit for 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh, that was a natural 1. So
Ha!
that one's not. And then a hit for 6 points of damage.
Does it feel
That's
worse
my
to
turn.
roll a natural 1 on a creature that, like, you could only roll a natural 1 to fail at, or... I'm just asking for a
No,
friend.
because that's inaccurate.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. You could probably roll 2 and still miss, but... Hey.
On my second and third strikes, it's a lot easier.
At least we're not using critical fumble cards. Paizo does have them.
True.
That's true.
Paizo does have them,
That's true.
and I would like them at some point. Put that on the list.
I did still do 12 points of damage to that gelatin just now, so I'm feeling pretty good.
You
That's the
did
end of my turn.
2 more points of damage than it did to your paralyzed doctor friend.
I can only do what I can.
But you have a few more turns with the rest of your party. After Twinkle Toes is Dr. Forsyth. Dr. Forsyth, I need you to roll me a fortitude save to see if you're still paralyzed.
Come on. My last 3 rolls have been 8, 8, 7.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
And it gets worse with the natural 2.
No!
Is that a
What the
crit?
heck?
Is that a crit fail?
Dr.
That's a
Forsyth,
7 total.
uh,
7 total.
whose form was at one point upright as he was when he was engulfed, like sword cane out, about to bring it down, now begins to like float in the center of this mass, begins to go like belly up
This is so bad.
as he's being slowly digested from the outside in. Oh, that's Dr. Forsyth's turn as he is still paralyzed. Kashak.
Kashak, he has realized that his bow is maybe not as useful, so he just sort of brandishes his sharp claws and will make a few claw strikes at this creature.
Let's see what you got.
The first one is a 10 on the dot. What a roll.
Easy.
That is 7 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Next up, much better, definite hit for another 7 points of slashing.
7 points of slashing.
And third attack here, needs to just rush the damage. Definite hit for 9 points
9.
of slashing damage.
Oh,
Okay, so
9
Twinkle Toes,
slash.
you watch Kashak, who is at one point just by his feet alone holding on to this wall, launching arrows, hop down, drop the bow, brandish some claws, and all of a sudden he is slashing into this acidic creature without abandon. You watch as just chunks of this yellow slime are thrown against the wall, falling to the ground. You see like some of it get on to Kashak himself, his face now like a slight yellow hue to it as he's covered by this thin layer of slime. Doesn't even seem concerned as he rips into this form.
He is stoic. There's no like brandishing emotions or flourishing. He's executing a job as quickly as possible.
Twinkletoes thinks that's pretty hot.
Kashak, that is the end of your turn.
That is the end of my turn. 3 attacks.
Bastro, you managed on your prior turn to escape what seemed to be certain death, and now you see your friend Dr. Forsyth in the same situation. What would you like to do?
Okay. First off, I think I'm gonna cast Stoke the Heart on Kashak. Just because after
seems
seeing him
reasonable,
just
I
ripping
guess.
into this monster,
For
it's
real.
just like Kashak, like keep it up, please. Like get the doctor out, please. We gotta save him.
Could not be more stoked.
Could not be more stoked.
what type of damage is the damage boost?
I think it's just
It's,
a damage boost to your
It's just +2
Yeah,
damage.
whatever damage type it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That's how it works a lot for second edition. Technically, precision damage
Yeah.
is also your same damage type. It's just this creature is immune to sources of precision
Yeah,
damage.
yeah.
so
Okay.
Not a different damage type, but anyway.
I also heal 2 points of.
Yeah, what is that spell called again?
It's his
It's
witch
called
hex, right?
Life
Yeah.
Boost. It's the Life Boost
Life
hex
Boost.
focus spell, and it's fast.
Yeah.
It gives you fast healing for 4 rounds.
That's so good.
Very
Nice.
That's
good
so cool.
spell.
Yeah, so the
I
halo
still
emitting this soft glow in this otherwise firelit cavern. The like not intensity, but the consistency of the light providing some solace against the darkness of this creature that is now battering your party. Is that the end of your turn, Bastro?
No, it's not.
You've got one
last-
more action.
I have 2 more actions actually.
Oh.
Life Boost is a 1 action spell.
And then it lasts for 4 rounds. You don't have to maintain it. Okay.
Right, exactly. I don't have to sustain
Oh,
it
that's
at
so
all.
cool. That's
It's
so
a
cool.
great spell. It's a great
Really
hex,
cool.
yeah. And then the last 2 actions, I'm gonna Bastar's gonna cast Forbidding Ward on Kashak. So now Kashak, any hostile actions taken from the jelly, you get a +1 status bonus to armor class and saving throws.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Saving throws. That's
does
huge.
pretty well.
And
Yeah, I
Engulf
know.
would count as a
Very-
hostile
very
action
good for right
sure,
now.
Right? That would be hostile, I think. Yeah.
It's certainly not friendly, as much as it might resemble a hug.
Just a hug. Good
Okay.
turn. I love that turn. That's my
I
favorite.
think like at the end, Bastar's like, Kashak, I think you're a great addition to this team.
I don't know why I ever let anybody get to level 2 with a full spellcaster, but here we are. At the end of Bastard's turn is, in fact, the Gelatinous Cube Hour, where we see who gets engulfed next. And it's a pretty simple answer, because Kashak has been laying out
Yeah.
the pain for it.
Yeah.
It just wants to eat you and get you out of the way. So it's going to try. Go ahead and roll a reflex save, and you do get that +1.
Plus one,
I would consider this pretty freaking hostile.
Yeah, absolutely. Natural 20 for a 31.
Oh my gosh!
I'll fucking do it.
31.
Oh my god.
You're fine. You're fine. You still take, however, 2 points of acid damage.
2 points. Okay.
Do I
It
take
is-
that damage?
No, it's like it moving on to.
Oh, I'm gonna
body.
deal your damage at the end of the turn. Yeah.
Oh.
You
okay.
you still have damage coming in, bud.
I was hoping it was just the 2 that I would take. I was like, oh, that sounds good. Okay, 2.
That's great.
Oh, don't worry. I've still got plenty of damage for you, bud. It's then going to use its third action to strike with a pseudo woodopod.
Okay.
Pseudo.
We're just gonna pretend like I didn't roll a natural one.
Like you didn't roll a natural what?
What? Huh?
What?
Mysteriously, it only had 2 actions this turn. I don't know what happened. But what does happen is Dr. Forsyth takes 6 points of acid damage and is still paralyzed. We're having fun. End of round 3. Dr. Forsyth is presumably almost dead. It's now Twinkletoe's turn.
I'm fine.
It's not my turn.
It's now Twinkletoe's turn.
Step forward. Slash slash.
I don't believe you.
2 points of damage.
I'll take it.
5 points of damage.
Fine, be that way. That's the end of your turn. 7 points of damage. Slash slash. You notice now that the total mass of this creature that is still coherent or cohesive is significantly reduced. You see that it is just enough, while it still takes up this like 10 by 10 space mechanically, you see that is now fluctuating much more. There are really no sharp edges like there used to be, where it used to be an actual cube. It's doing its best to like keep Dr. Forsyth in the center, but it's like having to fluctuate and rotate its mass around to try to combat where it's like losing its gelatin. It's looking really beat up at this point.
Lit.
That's
I go
the-
back to Bastro and I say, Bastro, get into flanking!
That is the end of Twinkletoe's turn. Dr. Forsyth. I need you to roll me. Need you to roll me a fortitude save there, bud.
I've got 7 rounds, so 6 left now. It'll be 5 left at the end of this round.
Surely it
Or
won't
after
matter.
my turn. All right, I put my other die in dice jail, and I'm now using the set of dice I got when we went to PAX Unplugged, Will. So I'm hoping that these are going to be better.
Dice jail.
I'm gonna take that as a
5!
take that as a no.
Oh my god! I've rolled my last, was that 5 rolls now? I've been under an 8. This is insane.
And is that a regular fail or is that a crit fail?
I don't know if you can.
What's the total?
10 is the total.
Well, on the bright side, you're forcing your only friends in the world to sacrifice life and limb to try to save you. So there's that.
Your only friends in the world.
You're still paralyzed, and it's not looking
Other
too
than the psychopoms.
hot.
Yeah.
Kashak, you see fewer and fewer air bubbles exiting as Dr. Forsyth continues to remain immobile.
You know, time is of the essence here, so he's going to waste no time in trying to attack as quickly as possible. The more claws going to come in. Am I still stoked?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're so stoked.
So
You're
hell is
super
that?
stoked.
stoked. Alright, cool.
So stoked.
Dude, your hearth could not be any more stoked.
That is a hit for 8 points of slashing damage.
8 points of slasherino.
That is a. I'm going to hero point that.
Oh.
Wow.
Sure.
No. Respect.
Let's go for a better roll here. Definite hit for another 8 points of slashing damage.
Another 8
Wow.
points.
And then what is this? This is nice. Okay. Definite hit for 9 points of
Oh my
slashing.
god.
So, Bastro of Twinkletoes and even Forsyth through this veil of yellow across your eyes, which are burning, still open. You all watch as one slap, you hear that sound, that contact of open palm against like flesh, that just nice like slapping sound, and you watch as just a like, you know, bucket sized heap of this slime is just slung across the wall to the left. Left hand claw comes in. Once more, a loud slap as he rips another huge section off. Now there's just barely enough slime left to cover Dr. Forsyth's form, and you all watch as he rips in both hands and just rips slime straight off of Dr. Forsyth, killing the gelatinous cube. It all becomes essentially water. What used to be this viscous gelatin just disintegrating and beginning to evaporate on the ground around you. Now dead, leaving two things. One, Dr. Forsyth still paralyzed for at least 6 seconds. And two, a skeleton wearing some shiny armor and with a nice sword. And that is where we're going to take a quick break, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what you saw so far, go ahead and follow us on Twitch. We'll be back at 8:45 Eastern Standard, about 14 minutes. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you again here soon.
Don't go anywhere.
Will, you're muted.
Welcome back, people. What's going on?
What's up?
Still muted.
Hello? Hello?
There you go.
There it is.
It's crazy how I pressed my mic button twice, and both times I was muted. I don't get it. But here we are. Welcome back, everybody, as we come off the cusp of a near suffocation of our very own Dr. Forsyth.
I need to lament a little bit, if you will permit me.
No.
I am putting 2 dice in dice jail tonight because I was thinking about it over our brief intermission here. My last 5 rolls, all of which were saving throws, was an 8, 8, 7, 2, 5.
Horrifying. On a 20-sided die, for those at home. That is
Well,
horrible.
you are consistent, at least.
I am indebted to my entire party for saving my butt.
Yeah.
Got you.
It tends to be one of those, like, what goes around comes around thing, where your healing thus far has been saving the butts of your party, and they return the favor. It just took a while to get there.
Gotta get helped out.
Yeah.
So, this gelatinous cube, as Kashak rips the last bits of it off the layer surrounding Dr. Forsyth off of him, sending it every which direction. What little bits of viscosity or consistency that it had left ruptured, the surface tension gone. It erupts in this like shower of acidic mist that rains around, seeping into the ground and eventually evaporating away, leaving.
Would you call it a golden shower?
I was
Yikes!
specifically avoiding any color depictions because of that. But Jack, you're a terrible human being. Just wanted to let you know that.
It's what I do best.
Leaving 2 things, as I mentioned: an acid burned Dr. Forsyth
Mm-hmm.
and a skeleton.
Very much so. Very much so.
A very interesting skeleton. The same skeleton that was used to lure you greedy, greedy souls in the first place.
I cast detect magic immediately on the skeleton.
Detect
Or on the
magic,
armor.
you say?
It's a 30-foot emanation.
Yeah, you just-
It is a
Yeah,
30-foot
magic.
emanation, almost like sonar, where you will pick up the fact that there are new magical, if there are any, new magical auras that you were previously unaware of.
Correct.
So, like, you know, I
Little
think
blips.
all of your party members have magical auras that you're already familiar with, so they wouldn't go off unless you specifically wanted to see them. You send out this wave, and you do get 1 magical aura. You're not sure what specifically it is. You see on this skeleton a well-polished, due to the acidic nature of the creature, well-polished full plate armor,
Oh.
tower shield, and mace.
What?
Oh. And
Wow.
all 3 are magical?
You only get 1 magical aura. So one of these 3 things is magical.
The well-polished armor, I'm assuming.
All of it is well-polished.
Oh, it's all.
Yeah,
well
all of it is well-polished.
Okay.
Well,
due
it was
to
all
the
in
acidic nature of the
acid,
creature.
So yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So
Okay,
it was
I know what to do.
well-polished armor.
Now I know what to do. We have to move all 3 pieces of equipment to 30 feet away from each other, and then I'll set up detect magic again, and we'll know exactly which one.
To save you literally all of that effort, why doesn't somebody just try to identify if one of these things is magical?
How boring, but I'll do that too.
Can I? I have no idea.
What's the
whether
roll,
I-
Arcana?
Whatever your main spell casting ability is.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh, cool. Even better. Oh, yeah.
Can I roll a religion on it?
Yeah, 19.
You can, sure, yeah.
I have no spell casting ability, but I'm trained in religion.
If you're trained, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's does a 19 get me
Yeah.
close?
I
So-
rolled a 21 on the armor, or on one of them.
with careful inspection, both of you are able to denote two important things. One is that each of these three items is emblazoned with the 5-pointed star of Asmodeus.
Oh, yikes.
Can I recall knowledge on Asmodeus?
Sure, go ahead and roll a religion.
Okay.
Am I still paralyzed, by the way?
After 6 seconds, I'd like you to go ahead and roll me a fortitude save.
It's gonna make you roll them all out.
Really?
You're paralyzed
another
until you're not,
19.
so...
Sorry, we'll do that after you resolve EG and Dan.
What was your total on the religion?
19.
19. Asmodeus, or Asmodeus, depending on your preferred pronunciation.
Yeah, the correct one or the wrong one.
Take your pick. I personally do not care. Is the most powerful of the 9 archdevils of hell. This is common information. In a world where gods demonstrably exist. This is just common knowledge. What you get from that, you would know already that he is the most powerful of the lawful evil deities. What you would get from that is that he is the god of the domains of fire and law and magic. Also some trickery, definitely evil, obviously. And also lesser domains or subdomains of ash, deception, legislation, which is an actual domain. So, have fun with that one. But outside of that, this mostly just looks like whoever was the most recent meal for this creature happened to be a cleric of Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what piece of equipment was it?
All three have
the
the stamp of the 5-pointed star.
Asmodeus isn't Satan, but he's the closest that you get in the universe to a literal Satan figure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Were we able to figure out which of the 3 objects was enchanted?
On top of the inscription of the 5-pointed star of Asmodeus, as previously mentioned, you find that the mace has the arcane +1 rune on it.
Wow.
Cool.
And Jack, please, I always forget, remind me what the actual name of the rune is.
Fundamental rune.
That's the type of rune, not the name of the rune.
It would be, wait, isn't that the name of the...
No, there are fundamental and property runes. This is a fundamental rune.
No, a +1 striking rune? Or...
It is a potency rune.
Potency.
Weapon potency.
But not striking.
Oh my god.
No, striking is...
Striking is the one that gives damage dice.
The weapon
Potency is the one that gives +1.
It's just a +1 to hit. Yeah.
So this is a lesser potency rune.
I couldn't get property out of my head, but I knew it was wrong.
Yes.
So properties are later. We'll deal with that when we can. But potency just gives you a +1 to hit. I believe that Twinkle Toes has a +1 rapier. A rapier with
Yes.
a +1 potency affixed to it.
Yes.
Kashak would obviously like this, but he doesn't necessarily have the finances to transfer it.
You would still need to pay to transfer it, or try to do so yourself for slightly cheaper, but still
nor
cost
do I
money.
think that he would know how to do it. Definitely keep that in the bag of holding for now, unless somebody wants the mace
For sure.
specifically.
There's also a tower shield and a set of full plate armor.
I don't think anyone can use either of those.
Mm-mm.
Like anyone makes any use of either one of those items.
I can't use... I think
I
that's
think we should.
like heavy armor, right?
Yeah,
They
It's
look
all-
well made. We should take them with us and stuff.
it's all going in the bag.
And for what it's worth, you would realize that while this doesn't have probably the full value of the sets or the pieces, due to the inscription of the symbol of Asmodeus, the 5-pointed star, I'm sure you would all feel that if you found a church of Asmodeus somewhere, that it might be worth at least a little bit more to them.
Hey, there we go.
It's a regular mace, not a light mace.
It is a
Yeah, what's a
it is a regular mace.
Mace is just a stick with a heavy metal thing on
I
it.
know what I'm sorry. I
It's a
meant to say like
can of
what
spray
what
when
group
people
like
get
what
too close to you.
+1 bear
is it?
spray.
Simple, martial.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
it is a simple weapon.
Okay,
Actually, you probably could use this.
I could use that. Yeah.
How do you feel about carrying around a +1 mace that's branded with the symbol of Asmodeus?
You know what? Bastard would not be into that.
I was gonna say
actually.
Bastard
I
would probably not want to do that.
No, Bastard is like really against
Explicitly.
anything evil, especially Satan evil, Satan level evil.
Again, he's not the
So-
same story, but like that's
He-
the same. Like
he is okay with profiting off of the equipment. Like he doesn't care about that.
I'd say we just sell it. I think we sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Minus the +1
Alright.
rune.
Kashak like is pulling it off of the skeleton in his.
We can take off the ruin off the maze.
Yeah, you could
if we
transfer
really
it.
want to.
Correct.
He's like pulling this armor and weapons off of the skeleton. He's like, I mean, I can carry this if y'all want me to. I can.
Oh, don't worry about that. Just give it to me here. And Bastard takes the bag of holding off his hip, and he like opens up the black hole that's inside of there.
I don't think it's gonna fit inside that small bag there.
Oh,
Oh,
trust me.
just try it.
And he like tries to
You'll
shove-
see.
tries to shove the shotgun in there, and it just and Kashak
Just
is like
Mary Poppins its way in.
wide-eyed
Yeah.
and spooked about it. He's like, oh my.
Bastard
It's
just
magic.
ties up
You're gonna have to get used to it.
the bag, puts it
because,
back on his hip.
Now that our goblin friends aren't here, I am gonna need you to help me put on shows to help me distract people.
Well, I
now.
can still
So,
give you a halo for like
Yeah,
30
absolutely.
seconds.
Yeah,
24,
but
but
we
who's
used to
counting?
have, you know,
Yeah, right.
we used to have, you know, it was. I'm gonna get emotional if we talk about this. Let's keep going.
Okay, let's just continue then.
Um,
So I'm just gonna roll perception just in case. I don't think there's anything else though that's in this part of the cave. I rolled a 19. I've rolled like 3 19s tonight.
What's your
Great.
total?
19. I rolled a 12. I get +7.
Yeah, you're not finding anything else that hasn't already been seen by Kashak or Dr. Forsyth.
and I think that Kashak is gonna, for the first time, try to get a look into the pit. See
Sure.
how far down he can look with a perception check. That is a 24.
So it's like a very steep drop. As I mentioned, it's not like something that you'd be able to hold yourself up on, even with the climb speed, because it's like all loose dirt and gravel, like 45-degree slant straight down. It goes down about 30 feet under, and due to the light situation, you can't really see what's on the other side of the wall, except the fact that the pit runs under in that direction to the north there.
Sounds scary. And
Is there anything along this wall over here or along this wall over here that a
Yeah.
rope could be
Is there
secured
anything
to?
over here?
Okay, if you go there, Bastro, one, Twinkle Toes, you feel like nothing in this area is particularly secure. Like, it all looks like it is only held up by the fact that it is still there, and that any kind of disturbances would offset whatever semblance of balance is currently in place and start cascading and breaking things.
Cool. What about the wall over here? Like the wall?
It is ancient. It looks like it would crumble if you put any pressure on it.
yeah, especially such localized pressure, like with one hook into a wall,
Yeah.
that would probably rip out some rock for sure. It's not a safe thing to hang
Okay.
on to. Yeah.
Cool.
Bastro, you get a little more. You have the torch still out, correct?
Right.
And Kashak will stay abreast with him. He'll just stay right up against him.
Okay, so I'd like everyone
Am I still
to
paralyzed?
go ahead and roll a save.
No, guys, I'm fine.
We wouldn't leave him behind.
Leave you behind.
I'm fine. No, guys. Keep going, please.
I hand waved it by accident. That's my fault. To make sure.
I just figure since the doctor's a doctor, he's like he can patch
I'm
himself.
paralyzed. I
up, you
can't
know?
do it. It's an 18 fortitude save.
You're paralyzed for another
God, really?
3 rounds. But
Okay.
after about 18, 20 seconds, you finally, like, your stiffened legs and arms begin to respond.
So he gets up and goes, "Thanks for saving me, but really, I'm okay. Thanks for being concerned that I'm burning alive."
Kashak
Do you
will
need a potion?
sprint over and start brushing any ounce of food off of you and stepping on your boat and like making sure that you're okay and like looking at you to make sure that you're fine. And then resume his position.
So from where you are right now, I would like Kashak and Bastard to roll me a perception check.
Okay.
The doctor's also going to say, "I'm going to need 10 minutes to treat myself before we continue."
Oh,
Doctor,
Natural
I just
20
asked
for
if you need a
25.
potion, so you don't
I
have to.
save your consumables. Save your consumables. I can patch myself up, I think.
Oh, all right.
Bastard, what was that total?
nat 20 for 25.
A dirty 20 for Kashak.
Okay. So, 2, possibly 3 big things. I amend that. It's like 4 big things.
Do I hear 5?
Gelatinous cubes.
Do I hear 5 big things?
You notice the facade, the front-facing facade of what looks to be at one point some kind of building, along the eastern wall here. However, there's like a massive cave-in the center of this structure, so you're not really sure what's going on inside there. But it looks like this was at one point a building. 2, there seems to be a stairway that has been carved out of the rock that you can see the first little bit of approaching here. 3, you see a shoddily constructed wooden bridge. It appears to be just literally scrap lumber thrown across the continuation of the crevasse that you saw on the other side. That is just haphazardly thrown there as a very basic means of, traversing the terrain. And 4, you hear the sounds of what could potentially be creatures that sound like they are trying to break or destroy some kind of wooden door or structure or wall. And every now and then you hear the telltale twang of a bow. And that is coming from around the corner, off in this direction.
So wood breaking and some chittering and bow twangs?
Yeah. And this is actively going on. What would you like to do?
Kashak would like to stealth and then peek around the corner to see if he can get a better look at what's going on around there.
Okay.
Yeah, Bastard's gonna stealth right behind Kashak, right here.
So I just want to make it clear, the doctor did just say he would like 10 minutes to patch himself up.
True. I mean, I just want to see what we're looking at here. We might not have 10 minutes is the problem. I know I might trigger something by doing this, but if they collapse on us, that's almost worse.
Okay.
So stealth score of 20 for Kashak. And then
I got 8.
I can just get perception down where they are, like around the corner there.
Okay. So, you quietly sneak up to the corner of this wall.
Not ready for whatever this is. Gonna be super scared.
You still hear the sound, like the beating sound of what's claws against like wood. You hear the shattering of boards. Every once in a while, you hear the scrape of bone on wood, claw on wood, and
Okay.
you take a look around the corner, and you see what appears to be 3 creatures battering against
Whoa.
what appears to be a shoddily constructed barricade made out of like a cart and some crates and scrap wood. But Bastro is carrying a torch, and an entirely dark cavern. And as soon as the light crests around the corner, the back creature here turns its head, does a little sniff in the air, notices the light. You hear a shriek as it begins to run back across, getting super wide, back across the bridge. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Okay. Is Kashak able to see this creature moving?
Yes.
Because that would activate my scout's warning free action. He will. Oh god, what will he do?
You give a +1 bonus to initiative.
Yeah, but if I say something out loud, it gains the auditory trait, and I don't want those things to hear me. But I also need to make sure that Dr. Forsyth sees me.
Well, it's coming towards the source of light, so
He'll turn around and he'll look at Dr. Forsyth and just sort of like draw his bow and an arrow and try to get this.
Dr. Forsyth is not looking. He is actively tending to himself medically because he is at almost a quarter of his hit points.
Yeah, so he's trying to signal to you as best he can, but everyone else will get a +1 as you see him as you see Kashak tense up and get ready.
Kashak, what is your initiative roll?
So good, 28.
Dr. Forsyth.
Since I was in the middle of a treat wounds action, could I use medicine as my initiative here?
Absolutely not.
Wait, really?
Really?
I don't think medicine is like an appropriate initiatives roll.
I can't imagine any situation in which your skill in medicine would make you act faster to something coming around the corner that you're unaware of.
Well, no, but second edition, that's not how initiative works. Initiative, you roll whatever action you were doing.
What you're
in
actively
exploration mode.
doing.
But
That's how initiative
Right.
works.
I do think there are like some that you can choose from. Like it's not like any skill is applicable.
Yeah, that is... I want to say no, because your ability to patch your wounds up does not mean you would be able to get the jump on something that's actively attacking you.
Sometimes, though, the GM might call on you to roll some other type of check. For instance, if you were avoiding notice during exploration, you roll a stealth check. So it is heavily GM's discretion, and therefore...
Okay.
I just can't imagine any situation in which you are taking your time and attention on patching up your own wounds that would make you faster at addressing an incoming threat.
Yeah.
Well, no, that absolutely makes sense. I just thought the rule for second edition was very different.
Yeah, it's much more GM's discretion than like whatever skill is whatever you roll.
Okay.
So anyway.
What was your total there, Forsyth? For perception?
So it would be a 27.
27.
Nice.
jeez, wow,
Didn't even need the medicine. Bastro.
21.
21. What are you... Did you guys eat Wheaties this morning? Like, what's going on?
No,
Natural 19.
Twinkle Toes.
after a gelatinous cube, man, we got tense.
Twinkle Toes.
Twinkle Toes got a 22.
Yo.
I'm always the last one.
Maybe just get better at the game. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just roll better. Maybe just be luckier.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Also very interesting. That's the wrong die. Okay. And okay. So, as I mentioned, this creature, you see now this dark gray, pale skin, sunken red eyes. Its skin itself appears to be clinging tightly to the skeleton beneath. Virtually no muscle mass, and yet it moves with this disturbing alacrity and swiftness as it approaches.
Very gross.
Kashak, you are up first. It is clearly aware of your presence.
Kashak would like to spend his first action performing the Hunt Prey action, which is ranger-specific ability.
It's just crazy how nothing else in this adventure takes precision damage.
So wild. Hunt Prey is really cool. It just basically means that Kashak is now laser focused on this particular creature, this one specific guy. It gives me some bonuses to stuff outside of combat, which we don't need to worry about right now, but basically, for combat purposes, it unlocks a whole host of various other features that will come up necessary. So he spends about 2 seconds like laser focusing in on this guy, and then he will take what is called a hunted shot.
I believe it's basically the Pathfinder equivalent of D&D's Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Yes. It's also
Yeah,
the
basically.
of first edition's study target for Slayers. If you was familiar with those game systems and not second edition. So a hunted shot is one action to take 2 shots very quickly. So I make 2 different strikes. The first one is not good. First one is a 14.
A 14 is a good question.
Kind of a tweener, actually.
What?
Thank you. Wait. No.
A 14
First one's a 14, second one's a 16.
as it's loading. Oh my gosh, it's actually not loading. Amazing. I do apologize once more.
I think that we can just kind of like hold these guys in the door, Bastro. I think if we just make sure that these guys don't get into this room, we can let the doctor be like kind of safe and let them come to us if necessary.
Yeah, but it's gonna take a while for the doctor to finish up.
Well, I think the point is to neutralize these enemies before
What was the second attack?
they even get to Dr. Forsyth at all. It's a 14 and a 16 to hit.
14's the first one you launch, and its head like jumps out, this long tongue like lolling out in front of it.
Oh, God.
Gross.
It like ducks and dodges under the way. Your second arrow, however, it wasn't expecting and does land true. Go ahead and roll
Nice.
damage.
So because I hit this target this round, every ranger has what's called a hunter's edge, and it just makes you better at a particular thing. Kashak has extra precision damage whenever he hits a target for the first time in a round. He's basically like a little archer sniper. He's shooting for vital organs, so he'll deal a little bit of extra damage on this first hit here. Comes out to 5 points of piercing damage. Not great rolls. And then third action, let's try to climb the wall.
Okay.
Climb
A little
That
classic
is a-
climb action.
16 to climb this wall right next to him.
That is a normal success, which for
Okay.
Kashak is a critical success.
We're about 10 feet up that wall there.
Okay. After
Can
Kashak,
someone stand under Kashak?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's 10 feet on the wall.
Heck yes.
after Kashak is Dr. Forsyth. Dr. Forsyth, you hear the telltale twang of a bow launching twice.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
I think the doctor will like mutter several curses under his breath really quickly, just like what the, and like really quickly like finish applying these like salves that he had to like help these acid burns, and then he'll like shatter the glass vials to sort of insinuate the first action of battle medicine he's going to do on himself.
Okay.
To heal himself. All right. And he gets loads of healing because I rolled above a 20 on my medicine check.
Nice.
So that would be 15. He's back to full.
Nice.
Back to
Nice.
full.
That's his first action. His second action, he will, I guess, stand up from prone.
Okay.
And third action, he will move. He'll stride. He'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and that's his turn.
All right. Next up. It's our friend, the creature, who is now barreling across the chasm. Just gonna move. Let's see here. If I can
Making some
find- there it
dexterity
is.
checks to get across that bridge.
No, not at all. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now, if only he was 10 feet, wasn't 10 feet off the ground.
If only.
That is an interesting situation. But it will use another action to step up. Oh no. Step up to there. So it's not like hovering just below Kashak. But will attempt to bite Bastro. You see
How dare
like
you.
this thick black saliva just dripping off the bottom jaw of this creature. Its tongue, long and mobile, just lolling out in front of it as it goes with these razor sharp needle-like teeth to bite into your shoulder. Ooh. How's a 12?
Oh man, you missed.
Right. That is the end of its turn.
Oh, man.
Its turn. I suppose I'll allow Twinkle Toes to go now.
Next, I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 25. First action. Second action, tumble through.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll an acrobatics.
I would like to use assurance.
What's your total?
It's an 18.
18. An 18, unfortunately, is not going to make it.
Really?
Really?
Oh, they're quick.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
They are exceptionally quick, actually. You notice that it's dodging and, like, dipping. And as soon as you, like, make a motion around it, it's readjusting, keeping you from getting past it.
Okay.
One more action. What would you like to do?
I would like to take a swing at it.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Or actually, no. I would not. I would.
Okay.
I said it. Should I still do it? I don't know.
You didn't roll, so I'll let you take it back.
Okay. I am going to try to make a fascinating performance.
Okay.
And distract this guy with a little dance, a little swing of my cape.
Do a little dance.
A little swing of a cape.
Make a little love.
Sure.
Get
Yeah.
down tonight with this thing.
I don't know if it's
It's like
gonna.
Gremlin. Ugh.
That's only a 15.
Yeah, they are not exactly
Performance.
pretty, and a 15 unfortunately will not fascinate it. It's
Okay.
unintrigued with the lackluster performance, and thus will continue its assault against the living flesh near it.
All right.
That's the end of Tukatos.
Yep.
Bastro.
All right. Bastro will free action drop the torch. Now the fire's just at the ground. And then he's going to step up 5, 10, 15 right there. And second, he's going to stoke the heart. He's going to stoke Kashak. He's going to be like, rain down terror. Let him know not to mess with us.
So stoked.
So stoked. And then third action, Bastard's going to throw some hands.
Hey,
the
there
third
it is.
They don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke.
Oh, that's not good. 1 second. 15.
15 unfortunately will not hit, as this
Yeah.
thing is
Did you
floating like a
consider-
butterfly right now, despite your stinging like a bee. So,
Did we account for flanking on that hit?
did you? Is it me?
That's
or
on the. That's on your.
yeah,
that's on your
yeah,
roll.
that'll hit. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Good looks. Okay.
Whoops.
Got you.
One point of damage.
Was it even worth?
Every little bit.
Yes, it was worth
Every
it.
little
Of
bit.
course it
counts.
was.
Every little bit.
That's so funny.
I'll ask you that question again after my next 2 turns. It is now this creature's turn. this creature, seeing now the flood of fresh meat entering its domain, will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20 to here. It will attempt to bite Bastro Baltorin.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'd prefer you didn't.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Personally.
Should have cast a shield.
Oh lord. That is against your flat-footed AC. A 28.
Ooh!
Crit. That is a critical.
That's
Whoa.
Oh man, this is gonna be bad for you.
Yeah.
So first thing right off the
A
bat,
little bit.
you take 9 points of
300 points of damage.
9 points of piercing damage as the razor sharp teeth sink in to your flesh, grabbing you just above the bicep of the arm that you just used to punch his friend. Secondly,
Ooh, I can see it. I can see it happening.
I need you to roll me a fortitude save.
Oh my god, so many fortitude saves tonight.
I hate this. Yeah.
We're in like a creepy sewer.
Yeah.
Everything's got poison and stuff.
17.
Feel all right.
Okay.
Oh
Nice.
my god.
Nice.
Now, I need you to roll me another fortitude save.
What?
Okay.
Oh, crit. Okay, there's probably some critical effect.
Ooh, an 18.
You're fine. You're
Nice.
so fine.
Nice.
That's just too tough.
Beyond
Too tough.
fine.
Too tough.
Too healthy.
Too tough for this stuff.
3 healthy, 5 me. That creature ended its turn with that bite. Doing some hefty damage, but not getting much
Yeah.
else. This one, gonna join the raucous occasion. 10. Yeah, not there. 15, 20,
I'm about to say, wow.
25, 30,
It's gonna
5,
jump
10,
the ditch.
15, 20. Not flanking this time, but will still attempt to bite.
Hey, how about you guys piss off?
16 to hit.
They are indeed pissed off, Bastro.
Yeah, they're pissed off.
Bastro 16
Want them
against
to
AC.
piss off. 16, that hits exactly.
That hits
Oh.
exactly.
My
Well,
son.
16, right? Yeah.
my friend, my squishy.
Wait, you're
squishy
not
little
Wait,
flat-footed.
wait, wait. No, I'm
You're
not
not- you're
flat-footed,
not
damn, right?
You're
No, not
Okay,
against this
no,
one.
no, that misses. Never mind. That misses.
Ugh, fine. Be that way.
16 AC is really low. Holy shit. We need to figure something. We need to
Yeah.
figure that out.
18 AC.
It is now end of round 1, top of round 2. Kashak, there's some targets, juicy, just waiting under you. You've got a bow, you've got some feet against the wall. What would you like to do?
He's got a bow and he's got feet, but he's first going to use his terrifying alligator face and try to intimidating glare demoralize
Hey.
the creature
Nice.
that just ravaged his best friend Bastro.
This one here,
Yeah,
His
the
best
one
friend.
that's flanking.
directly north. Yeah.
So he's going to roll an intimidation check against the will DC of that creature. 14 intimidate check
14.
against that creature's will DC.
As far as you are aware, it seems to have little to zero regard for anything you're trying to do.
He like snaps and snarls his gator teeth and he tries to shout something out in his home language, but he just ends up coughing and sputtering and nothing else.
Honestly,
Let's
same.
let's take
All
a.
three of them look up like, what the fuck is that?
What's going on there? What's that thing? Just confused rather than scared. Let's take a hunted shot at my hunted target below me here. First attack is baby, that's fat. 27.
Oh!
That is a critical hit.
Hey!
And then second shot is
Why don't you do the critical damage first?
I have to combine the damage for the purposes
Okay.
of resistances, so that's like the whole of it. So it is it's 21 to hit. So I'm assuming that one
Also
does
hits.
well. So that is
and you're still stoked.
3d6 plus a d8. This is going to be really, really big damage.
I'm sorry here.
If I roll well.
Big damage.
Oh.
$23 points of piercing damage.
You land
I think that's a show
2
record.
arrows, 1 in each eye socket, the second arrow felling the beast below.
23 points of damage.
Bop! It's out of here.
So that is his second action. I think with his third action, he's going to want to kind of walk around the wall here. So let's get another climb check to see if I can move and maneuver. Yeah, that's a 26 on the climb.
Critical success.
So 5, 10. He's now on the wall above the pit, like
That's
standing on the wall, trying to get an
That's
angle.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And that is his whole turn.
Okay. So, after Shock is Dr. Forsyth.
Dr. Forsyth's first action is going to be to try and devise a stratagem. He sees them dipping around and moving really fast, so he's going to see if he can figure out the best way to get at them. And as part of that, I'd like to roll a free recall knowledge on them.
Okay, go ahead and roll religion.
Religion can do. All right. That's a 17.
17. These are known as ghouls.
Cool.
So they are
Okay.
undead creatures.
Oh no.
Tend to lurk around graveyards. They eat both living and dead flesh. Hence the graveyards. Dead flesh being the easier of the two targets to acquire. But they are predominantly from the Darklands.
Okay.
And they are intelligent creatures. You get one other piece of information. What would you like to know?
I think I'd also like to know if they have any resistances or immunities.
They are immune to death effects, disease, paralyzed, poison, and unconscious.
Okay, so nothing we really need to be worried about. So the doctor will say, "These vile creatures are from the Darklands. They're ghouls, but be wary. They are intelligent." And then he will roll his devise a stratagem. Out of the box. And that's a dirty 20. So I think as his second action, he will stride, and he will go 1 or 5, 10, 15. And as his third action, he will strike out using his strategic strike. And he's going to see how these creatures are moving, and he's going to try to land a blow where it's about to be instead of where it is.
And it does hit.
Dirty 20 hits. Nice. So that is going to be 2 points of slashing and 2 points of precision for 4
Okay.
total.
And the one directly to your north?
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
This one directly to my north.
Yeah, so you managed to put the tip of your sword cane straight into the spot where its leg was moving as it was stepping up to try to get a swing off of Basro. So it essentially just rams its shin straight into the point of your blade, dealing some pretty decent damage. What else you got?
That's my turn.
That's your entire turn. End of Dr. Forsyth's turn, beginning of the dead undead's turn. It's re-undead. So it's Twinkletoes.
5, 10, 15, 25.
Nice.
Strike at this dude.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
Right. And he is flat-footed.
You'd like to think so.
Natty 16. That is a 25
Nice.
to hit.
Nice.
That is a critical hit
Yeah.
Oh,
due to your flanking.
Cool.
Well, I rolled a 1 on the dice, so 2 points of damage.
Amazing.
I'm gonna swing.
We take
swing
those.
again.
We take those.
I'm gonna swing again on the
Literally
same die.
double the damage you would have dealt them.
Can you imagine?
That
Times
is
2
gonna
damage.
be a 21 to hit.
Also hits.
This
Go ahead and
guy.
roll damage.
All right. Another 1 point of damage.
Another 1 point of damage.
Yeah,
So
Put
you
that
step around, fluttering, almost floating across the ground as you make way to flank this creature. Your main gouge, testing your opponent's defenses with small
Rapier,
strikes. Rapier, excuse me. Your rapier poking into the exposed extremities of your foe. But each time you jab in, you get this really weird sensation of this, now you know it to be undead flesh, and it kind of creeps you out. So as soon as you make contact, you're like pulling away a little bit because it just feels wrong. But you do end up getting a little bit of damage in.
Gross.
It is, in fact, pretty gross because when you stab it, instead of blood, this dark black ichor that smells of rot just emanates and trickles down. It doesn't even trickle, it's like maple syrup down a tree. It's just
Tasty.
gross. So, is that the end of your turn, Twinkle Toes?
Yes.
Bastro.
Alright, Bastro's gonna sustain Stoke the Heart for Kashak. And then he's also gonna cast Guidance on Kashak. He's gonna be like, Kashak, this guy right here is wide open.
Kashak is
Yeah, I
just a
guess we
turret.
yell it out. Yeah.
Kashak has never felt stronger in his entire life. He is like so unfamiliar with this concept of like magical buffing. They had like he's been with spellcasters before, but nothing like this. He's like so amped.
Brimming with power, basically. Yeah.
He just snorted pre-workout, like, ready to go!
Anyway, a third action, Bastard's gonna cast on himself.
You casting what on yourself?
Shield.
Oh, I'm cutting out there a little bit, buddy. What are you casting on yourself for your third action?
Or last action.
Okay.
Sick.
Okay.
Sick.
I still didn't hear what he's casting.
Please type it in the chat when you get the chance,
Yeah,
and
we
we'll get there.
Fine, I just
Shield, I think you said.
Shield.
Yeah, there
Shield.
I think shield.
Thumbs up for
I think
shield.
Shield.
Thumbs up for
we
shield.
go. There we go.
That's a head nod, so I'll take that as a yes. Bastard uses his final action to cast shield on himself after buffing the crap out of his new turret friend, Kashak. Who will just apply himself directly to wall and shoot.
Apply it directly to the wall.
Apply directly to the wall.
Remember those like sticky things that you would like shoot at the wall and then they would stick there?
Oh yeah. The
Or like the
gummy.
That was the origin.
The
of
lizards.
Shot in my head. That was the inspiration.
after Bastro.
Was somebody launching one of the lizards like
Yeah.
at a wall?
Just give this thing a bow and I slap it against the wall.
After Bastro, this creature is gonna, not enjoying where it's currently positioned, gonna go bop, bop, right around here. And since Twinkle
rude.
Toes decided to just lovingly tap it with the point of its blade, or her blade, he's just gonna bite her.
Try.
You're right. It will try to bite. You are flat-footed. I think I got you regardless. 24 against flat-footed.
That does hit.
That does hit. I bet
It
it
do.
does. And you know what? As a consolation prize, I'd like you to go ahead and roll me 2 fortitude saves.
Good God.
No, these things are gnarly. As I mentioned, they have this viscous black slime just running out of their mouth like saliva. You
Got
also
a 16 and a 19.
16 and a 19. Okay, you also take 6 points of damage from the bite, piercing damage. 16 and 19. You feel all right.
Okay.
Feel
Really?
just okay. But it's got one more attack. It's going to attempt to claw you this time.
I don't even want to know what these things have. It's so spooky.
That is a 19 against your flat-footed DC or AC.
Yeah, it hits against my flat-footed. It does.
So this time you're lucky, really lucky. You only take 3 points of piercing damage. Excuse me, slashing, since the claws are coming out and raking across your arm. But I do still need one, not two, but only one fortitude save from you.
That's cocked. Natural 19 for a 24.
Yeehaw.
You're just the most okay person that has ever been in contact with a ghoul.
Straight killing.
That being said, this one. What is he gonna do? Evens, Bastro, odds, Forsyth. Evens.
He's not gonna take me with a flat-footed.
He is less concerned with you than the other one was.
Okay, because I haven't dealt him damage.
Yeah. It notices the fact that Bastro is doing strange divine things, and it is an undead creature. So it is naturally not enjoying that very much, and will attempt to stop the inane and annoying mutterings of the crazy half-elf in front of it.
Bastro, if you have a 3-action heal.
Natural 1 on the bites. Claw coming out. Still a chance. 19.
19 will hit.
Gotta love agile natural attacks. So that will be 3 points of slashing damage. Is just like Twinkle Toes, you are raked straight across the chest by these vicious, bone-like claws.
Oh wait, I got attacked again?
No, you were hit by the other guy.
Oh, I thought. Alright, you said just like Twinkle Toes, and I was like,
yes,
again?
He got hit by the claws, just like Twinkle Toes did. Bastro, I also need a fortitude save.
Wow.
Just really stretching your fortitude out here.
23. What do you got?
I don't know why I try at this point. But here we are. It's got one more attack. It's getting literally nowhere with Bastro. So we'll try futilely, I suppose, to hit Dr. Forsyth. That's another natural 1.
Hey.
I'm never gonna use ghouls ever again.
Ooper duper.
It's fine. End of round 2. Top of round 3. Kashak.
Round 1.
Kashak's hunted prey has been neutralized, so he is looking for a new target, and he's not happy with how this ghoul has been treating his new best friend Twinkle Toes, so he's going to first action hunt prey, that one. Second action, let's give another go at that demoralize. Yeah, let's try to intimidate this guy again.
Same one?
Oh, it's the same one I did before, so he's immune.
You have
so
to do the other one.
Let's intimidate this one, just because I can swing it in. That is a 19 against Will DC.
It just seems like the fact that it has this not quite mindless, but singularly focused drive to eat literally any living flesh near it. It doesn't seem too concerned with you.
Oh, it must be immune to one of the conditions of demoralize.
Yeah,
Okay.
they must be.
Okay. So I think Kashak will figure that out at least. There's like, this isn't working, so let's just take
You're like
shot at...
doing your war cries, and it just keeps trying to bite Dr. Forsyth.
This used to work before, but it's not working now. I will take a hunted shot at the north target, my hunted prey. So first arrow is a 24 to hit.
Ooh.
Second arrow is much less, like a 10. So
you used guidance on that first one, right?
yeah, it wouldn't have affected anything.
And you're
I used
stoked, correct?
I am stoked. So that's going to be 10, 11 points of piercing
11
damage.
points of piercing damage.
11
So you
damage.
launch this arrow, and it's almost like a ballista bolt as it strikes through. You hear the shatter of brittle ribs as it pierces through, leaving a small hole in the chest cavity as the arrow just punctures straight in and out. Not something that you're used to, but the weird undead amalgamation that stands before you seems a bit brittle as you just blast through it with a well-placed shot.
Its flesh is like falling off of its
Yeah.
own body. Yeah.
Gross. Love it.
It's now got like a gaping wound, just like left center on its torso. That's all 3, correct?
And it's still kicking. That's impressive. Good for him.
Barely. It like stumbled back a little bit, but then just did that like undead, where it like writes itself back up.
You know what? That was only 2 actions.
Didn't you try to? No, you
that was
hunted
3.
and then demoralized and then shot.
Demoralized, hunted, shot. You're right. I forgot I hunted. Right. So yep.
Okay, end of Kashak's turn, beginning of Dr. Forsyth. Dr. Forsyth, you're watching as these arrows are just raining down from right over you. Meanwhile, a rather vicious, rather hungry-looking undead creature is slashing at your face. What would you like to do?
The doctor first is going to call out to Twinkletoes and ask, Twinkletoes, do you need help? How are you doing?
I've been better.
Okay, so the doctor is going to step as his first action to here. Second action, he's going to battle medicine Twinkletoes. Can I do like a perception check to see if I can see if she's like really hurt or only kind of hurt?
It would be a medicine.
Would that be an action?
Medicine check. If you'd like
that could be an action.
If you would like to take an action to medically appraise her condition, I'll let you roll a medicine check.
No, I think I'm just gonna take assurance on Yeah, I'm just gonna trust I roll well. I'm gonna take assurance with battle medicine to give me automatic healing.
Okay.
And you get decent roll, so you get 16 points of healing back. So he quickly like with his healing tools in his other hand, like bandages up any cuts you have on like your shoulders maybe or something really quick, with some like pre-applied ointment to these bandages.
You see like her. I was just gonna say, you see like her left arm has been like shredded almost to ribbons, from where the ghoul's claws had come across. So like as a whole, she wasn't too bad, but like her left arm had some pretty rough damage from that last hit. But you're able to
like half. No, I'm at full.
To like patch and like completely bind and stop the bleeding on that arm. And already Twinkletoes, like you immediately get like your fingers, you were starting to lose the feeling in the fingertips. You just immediately full strength back. You're ready to go.
Heck yeah.
And then with his third action, he will attempt to strike out at this creature without
Yeah, I bet you would.
Without his devise a stratagem. So we'll see how this.
What could possibly go
actually?
wrong?
Wait, why wouldn't you?
He's gonna do something that's gonna feel a little bit like a wasted action, but it's not. He's gonna devise a stratagem, but I'm only doing that to get the recall knowledge. Actually,
can you recall?
So you already recalled knowledge on these creatures.
Can I do that more than once?
No.
Or no?
No.
Okay, then never mind. I'm just gonna attempt to hit it. All right. No, that's a 7.
Yeah, so you like finish tying off and pulling the square knot tight on the bandages, and then you like lazily turn around and just kind of, and this thing just kind of goes, like sidesteps out of the way, just curious as to why you even tried.
That's my turn.
All right, end of Dr. Forsyth's turn. Twinkletoes, now fully refreshed and restored. What would you like to do?
I would like to try a tumble through to right here. An acrobatics check to get me there, may I?
Sure. It's just funny because like without being a swashbuckler, that would be entirely unnecessary. But like you're doing it purely for the sake of show, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna hero point it. Point it.
And she's gonna hero point it.
That's gonna be a 19 performance check.
Well, that'd be an acrobatics.
Acrobatics?
Right?
Acrobatics. That's a 20, a dirty 20 acrobatics check.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
You're sure?
Yes.
And you sure that's just not like your charisma
Oh my God, give her the
modifier?
answer.
Will?
You manage to successfully
Yes.
There it is.
tumble through.
Is that
Thank
the first
you.
panache of the combat? Is that the first panache?
First panache of the session.
Let's go.
That first panache of the night.
Thank you.
And
Alright.
the last panache for the night.
I am going to take a confident finisher strike at this guy.
It's gonna be really awkward when you miss.
Guaranteed damage.
Hey, still damage. Guaranteed damage.
That's true. It is still damage.
Natural 17 on the dice.
That's a hit.
Oh,
Wait, what's the
26
total?
to hit.
What's the total?
26.
and he's flat-footed.
That's a crit,
He's
isn't
flat-footed.
it?
That's a
And
crit.
he's flat-footed.
Oh my god, that's gonna be mad.
The
Imagine
precise
me
strike
opening my
damage
big
doesn't
dumb
double.
mouth.
Yeah, precise strike can't
The
correct this,
precise-
though.
Precision damage
Okay.
does not double.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll my normal damage on my metal dice, and then my precise strike damage on my not
This
metal
is
dice,
exactly why
so-
we have dice cams.
Throw it at the lip.
All right, so the metal dice was a 5, so that doubles to 10, and then the other 2 is a 6 and a 2, so 18 damage.
Yo. Yo.
So, Twinkle Toes, you like dive, tuck, and roll between the legs of this creature. You pop up, doing like a 180 spin. As you're going around, you jab out the tip of your rapier. Dr. Forsyth, you see the skull of this creature collapse in on itself under the weight of the pressure poking through. The point of the blade sticking just like an inch out in between the eyes, spraying you with this thick black liquid.
Roll a fortitude save.
And as she continues turning, the blade cleanly pulls out of the skull of the creature, and it crumples, knees down, face into the dirt, and it's dead.
Nice.
Nice.
What a get panache, spend panache, kill a creature.
Amazing how confidently she finished that creature.
She's so confident.
So confident.
Third action, I am gonna run over here.
Okay.
For whoever wants to try to give it flanking on their turn.
Sure. Yeah.
Not at all bad idea.
All right, that's the end of my turn.
And if Twinkle Toes, Bastro.
All right, Bastro is going to
There he is.
definitely sustain the hex on Kashak. So he's still stoked. And then
So
Super stoked.
let's see, what else can I do? Can't really do anything. Okay, yeah. So he'll cast guidance on Twinkle Toes after seeing that impressive execution in front of him.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's gonna be like, Twinkle Toes, encore, please. and then third action, he's going to cast his life boost hex on himself. So you see him like do a circle around his face again, and that'll be his turn.
Okay.
I love that.
Did not
Just like
pick up my offer.
the
for
incantation.
flanking.
So cool.
Can we also just talk about how he just cast essentially 3 spells?
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
3 very good spells. Like very
Yeah,
Yeah.
sustained one. I didn't cast it.
Well,
but
you sustained it, but
Still.
still, like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so cool.
It's keeping that motif from first edition where witches just like the longer you do things, the longer you stand there, the more like your tendrils expand and you do very weird, spooky, cool stuff.
I just imagine Basho there like.
Oh
chanting,
god, why does Will have
Yeah,
Yano?
yeah.
You just
Why
see like
does
light
Will have
emanating
Yano?
from me and like clearing
I
like. going
wouldn't
towards
worry about
my
it.
Teammates.
If I were you.
I love it.
I'm very concerned about it, actually.
Once more, you hear the thwang of a bowstring. And Kashak, being intimately attuned to reacting to this noise just based on your environment, you watch as an arrow streaks out across the bridge, pinning the ghoul into the door behind it as it slumps against the door. And you hear a little squeal. Gruff, you did it! You hit it! You got it! It's over! Oh, who are they? Are they ghouls too? No, they're not ghouls. They look alive. And that is where we're going to end it for this week.
Whoa.
Ah,
Unexpected allies.
perhaps.
What?
Are they allies?
Are they?
They're just ghouls that talk.
Or was it
Yeah. Other goals.
Was it an enemy of my enemy situation? I don't know.
They were actually hunting the ghouls for sport, like a Ramsay Snow situation.
Okay.
Yikes.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this edition of Heroes of Absalom. We'll be here again next week, same time. If you like what you saw today, please, I would encourage you to follow us on not only Twitch, but Instagram and Twitter as well. We've got some awesome artwork and behind-the-scenes stuff going on, especially on Instagram, and you can keep up with what we're doing on Twitter. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you back again next week for the next episode of Heroes of Absalom, brought to you by 3 Kobolds Gaming. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you next
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.